I didn't hand Nancy the divorce papers out of anger. There was no shouting. No slammed doors. No dramatic speech practiced in the mirror. It was a quiet Tuesday evening, the kind where the house feels heavier than usual, like it's holding its breath. I had already made peace with the decision long before the envelope ever touched her hands. Nancy looked up from her phone as I placed the papers on the kitchen counter. For a moment, she didn't understand what she was seeing. Then her expression shifted. Not fear. Not sadness. Annoyance. Like I'd interrupted her routine. She flipped through the pages without really reading them and let out a short laugh. "You can't be serious," she said. "You're overreacting." That word again. Overreacting. I'd heard it for years every time I tried to talk about the distance, the silence, the way we lived like polite roommates instead of partners. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I just stood there, calm in a way that surprised even me. If this story already feels familiar, take a moment to like this video so it can reach others living the same quiet struggle. Nancy grabbed her keys. "I'm calling Claire," she said. Claire, her best friend. The one who always knew better. The one who believed every story needed a villain. And it was never Nancy. Claire arrived fast, fueled by righteous anger. She didn't even say hello. She looked straight at me and said, "What the hell are you doing to her?" I leaned against the counter and listened as she spoke for both of them. She called me selfish. Said marriage had ups and downs. Said real men didn't quit when things got uncomfortable. Nancy stood behind her, arms crossed, letting her friend do the fighting. I didn't interrupt. I didn't raise my voice. Because none of this was new. I'd heard versions of this speech every time I asked for effort, connection, or honesty. When Claire finally stopped, waiting for me to defend myself, I said quietly, "I'm not quitting. I already stayed." That confused her. I told them the truth I'd been carrying in silence for years. That love can't survive on excuses. That loneliness doesn't always come from being alone. Sometimes it comes from being ignored by the person sleeping next to you. I wasn't asking Nancy to be perfect. I was asking her to be present. If you've ever been told you were too much for asking basic respect, share your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading everyone. Claire scoffed. "So you're throwing away your marriage because things aren't exciting anymore?" I shook my head. "No. I'm ending it because nothing changed after I spoke up." Nancy finally spoke. "You never gave me a chance." That's when I realized how different our realities were. I told her I'd given chances in silence, in patience, in lowered expectations. I gave chances every time I chose peace over confrontation. What I stopped giving was access to a version of me that accepted neglect as normal. Type clarity in the comments if you believe knowing when to walk away is a form of strength. Claire stepped closer, lowering her voice like she was offering wisdom. "You'll regret this. Dating is brutal. No one will tolerate your standards." I almost smiled. For the first time, I wasn't afraid of being alone. I was afraid of staying invisible. Nancy stared at the papers like they might rewrite themselves. I told her everything was already filed. This wasn't a threat. It was a decision. If this resonates, consider sharing it with someone who might need the courage to choose themselves. The room went quiet. No more speeches. No more defenses. Just the sound of something ending. Not in flames but in certainty. Before you go, like the video, comment one word that describes how this made you feel. And subscribe for more stories about boundaries, self-respect, and choosing peace over noise. Nancy finally looked at me, searching for something I didn't have anymore. Not forgiveness. Not justification. She wanted the old Peter, the one who argued, begged, bent himself into knots just to keep her content. That version of me was gone. Claire tried one last time. "You think this is strength? It's cowardice." I smiled softly. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet decisions. Holding your ground without raising your voice. Letting go when love isn't reciprocated. I pulled out my phone and sent a quick text to my lawyer, confirming everything was filed. Nancy's face changed when she realized this wasn't a conversation. It was reality. If you've ever taken control of your life, comment empowered, so others know they're not alone. Claire accused me of punishing Nancy. "No," I said. "I'm protecting myself." "That's different." The silence thickened. I stepped toward the door. No rushing, no storming out. Just the certainty of someone who finally recognized his worth. Nancy followed me to the hallway. Peter, can we talk? I paused. We can. But not now. Right now, I'm learning what it feels like to choose myself. I stepped into the night. The cold air hit my face like a reminder that I was alive. No dramatic music. No cinematic sunset. Just clarity. I drove to a small cafe downtown and sat by the window watching life move past me. And for the first time in years, I felt something I'd been missing. Presence. Not someone else's, my own. Comment below if you've ever realized the hardest choices are the ones that finally set you free. Some love doesn't need rescuing. Some chapters must end so the next one can be written better. Like this video if choosing your peace resonates with you. Comment freedom, and subscribe for more stories about self-respect, boundaries, and personal growth. Walking away never felt so much like coming home. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is love yourself enough to let go.